Are you currently in New Zealand on a visitor visa and planning to apply for your next visa? If that is the case, this video is specially for you. You have to consider these 3 points when you apply for your next visa application. Number 1, have you submitted an employment letter to Immigration New Zealand when you applied for your original visitor visa? For example, you may have also submitted an evidence of your own business which you are running overseas, and you apply to Immigration New Zealand saying that I want to visit New Zealand for 2 months or 3 months or any similar duration. Now, when you apply for your next visa, Immigration New Zealand can challenge and ask you to provide further details for your employment situation in your home country. It may be the case that you had already resigned from that employer when you actually entered New Zealand, and you could be challenged with a question that why did you do that? Did you have an intention to not return after your visit to New Zealand? Were you actually a bonafide visitor? Number 2, if you are considering applying for your next student visa, you may also have to provide for your IELTS or PT exam results to your institute. And this is what Immigration New Zealand can also ask for. They can check what was the date when you appeared for this exam. And if it happened so that your IELTS or PT exam was conducted overseas before you entered New Zealand, Immigration could also ask if you had a premeditated plan to become a student in New Zealand, if you were always looking to enter New Zealand on a visitor visa and later apply for a student visa. They will also question and challenge what would have been a likely outcome if you had applied for a student visa from offshore for the same course. If you would have been granted that visa if you had applied from offshore, then they might consider it differently from a situation where you are applying for a course and the only reason you applied from onshore is that you hoped that Immigration will be more lenient towards allowing you to study for that course. Number 3, if you have just arrived in New Zealand and you have not covered any of your itinerary which you wrote in your immigration statement of purpose when you applied for your visitor visa, Immigration New Zealand could challenge you for having deceived them. For example, if you just arrived this week in New Zealand and you applied for a student visa by the end of next week, Immigration could challenge you if you have met the purpose of your original intended visit. They could also ask you to provide evidence for any travels done, any photographs, any bookings, and if you have not met your itinerary, you may have to explain why you have suddenly and promptly decided to become a student. Now, these concerns are all valid concerns. What is important is your clarity of purpose. If you are entering New Zealand hoping to settle here permanently, don't just apply for a visitor visa and then apply for further visas. Make a comprehensive plan. Plan your career steps, plan your education steps, and make a concrete plan with the help of a licensed immigration advisor or an immigration lawyer. Don't just leave it to luck.